Hello, hello, hello. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make videos for NFL. All of those videos get posted on this subreddit called DF Sports. With one S where other people post great content, stuff like that. Here's my post. You can find my username. My username is Shook. I make updates with all the news that comes out, what that changes for me. People talk strategy here. People ask me questions. I'll reply to every single one of you, as you can see here. So check it out if that's something you're interested in. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through Reddit Messenger, or you can get a hold of me through Twitter at Tori Langley 1992. So if that's how you want to get a hold of me, that's the way you can do it. I think Twitter would be better. I don't check my Reddit messages too often. So if you want like a quick reply, the quickest way to get a reply back to you is either probably commenting on the Reddit post or messaging me on Twitter. That's probably the two fastest ways. But let's go over my lineup from tonight. So another good night. I mean, this is 6 straight days of cashing. I don't know what to say. All I have to say is the heater is on. In full effect, it's on. So, man, it could have been such a better night if CJ McCollum did better, the game blew out. If Wendell Carter Jr. did a little bit better, but I really can't complain. I've just been absolutely destroying NBA DFS of late, and so has everyone in the Discord. Like, it's just been absolutely insane. So, yeah, the lineup that I went with tonight was CJ McCollum, James Harden, Tobias Harris, Jalen McDaniels, right? Jalen McDaniels, Wendell Carter Jr., Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson, Jonas Valanciunas. Finally, 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 I can finally go to rest that I finally got a good Jonas Valanciunas game. Like right now, as I'm saying this, I'm closing my eyes and I'm about to fall asleep. Need some ASMR up in here. Finally. The core that I had for today was CJ McCollum. he reached value, fine. James Harden reached value, was fine. Jalen McDaniels, absolute smash, and then Wendell Carter Jr. reached value, was fine. So originally I had Jalen Brunson a core play. The reason why I got off Jalen Brunson as a core play was because I wasn't going to get off Wendell Carter Jr. I thought he was one of the best GPP plays on the slate. I was not going to get off him. And once Doc Rivers started PJ Tucker at the 5, I had to get off Paul Reed so that I lost a value piece there that allowed me to also fit in Brunson. So I went from Brunson, Paul Reed to Jonas Valanciunas and Dennis Schroeder. I believe Schroeder pretty much scored the same as Jalen Brunson. So maybe that was a blessing in disguise. um, so yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. It's been a phenomenal run of late. I'm up like I feel like the past like month I'm up like $5,000, $4,000 in the past month or since NBA started. I remember like a month ago my balance was down to $13,000. Now I'm back up to 18.5. So I don't know what to say, man. It's been absolutely insane. And I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. I appreciate all the support of late. But enough of me talking. Let's get into this slate for tomorrow. I don't like it. It's not a good slate in my opinion, so I definitely suggest going small. But it's a good matchup here for Memphis, right? I'm going over Memphis. Yeah. Good matchup here. Orlando is. Ooh, I feel out of breath. 20th in pace. Okay, maybe not the best matchup. 24th in defensive rating. So we do have Desmond Bane back. We have Brandon Clark questionable. I don't expect him to play, so we'll just continue going over it, assuming he is out. So John Moran at the top at 10.4K. Guys, I'm going to make this video quick. I'm going to do some golf research after this, so I'm going to try and get out of here pretty quickly since it's already 1 in the morning, and I'm going to try and play a golf lineup. So John Moran at the top at 10.4K. With Desmond Bain back, it just really, really hurts him. His usage goes down. His ceiling goes down. Just everything goes down. So I think he's in play for GPPs, but it's not going to be someone I'm going to be going out of my way to play. But the upside's still there. Like, he has that 70 fantasy point upside even with Desmond Bain in the lineup, but more just a GPP only play for me. I think Desmond Bain at 6.7K is a pretty good play in the mid range. Back off his minutes restriction. I think in a close game, he's probably going to play, 32 to 35 minutes. This guy is a 7.5 to 8K player, so we're getting him at a discount here. He has shooting guard eligibility. It's a good matchup against Orlando. The only risk is blowout, so I think Desmond Bain makes for a pretty good play on this 4-game slate. I do like him quite a bit. Jaren Jackson Jr. at 6.5K, I mean, is fine. You guys know the drill. He's always in foul trouble, but does have a ceiling, just an okay tournament option. If Brandon Clark is out, I still like Steven Adams at 5.7K. With no Brandon Clark, his minutes are just much, much, much more secure. Not the cupcake matchup that he had today against Charlotte. Definitely a worse matchup, but I think he's just a very, very safe play. Brandon Clark's out. Dylan Brooks, no thank you. And then I'm not touching any of the Memphis value. So let's go over Orlando. We got a tough matchup here. Memphis is 9th in pace. They are 3rd in defensive rating. So we're going to have Franz Wagner back. We're going to have, who else do we have back? I believe Schofield, but that doesn't really matter. I'm trying to think of who are the guys that matter. I think it's just Franz, and then I don't expect Suggs to play, and then I don't expect Bol Bol to play. He entered health and safety protocols. So, assuming that's the case, I mean, it's a tough spot here. I think Banchero is, like, okay, but I don't like it too much. Very, very tough matchup, too. Franz, I think, is appropriately priced. So, assuming Bol Bol is out, we have no Wagner. He's doing his suspension. I think Wandakar Jr. is a fine play. Played 30 minutes today, kind of in a blowout. I think we get similar minutes tomorrow. Guy that can, good rebounder, good defensive player, can get those defensive stats. So yeah, I think actually I don't know if he's a good defender. I don't watch Orlando. I don't know much about Wandakar Jr. actually, but I just know what he does DFS wise. But I think he's okay. I think it's 6.4K. It's a little bit too cheap for him. So some interest in Wandakar Jr. Fultz, no thank you. Cole Anthony was pretty popular today. If you want to go back to him tomorrow, I don't hate it. 5.1K does seem a little too cheap, but just more of a tournament only play for me. You saw Mo Bamba get the backup 5. He only played 18 minutes though. I think I'd much rather go to Robert Williams, but Bamba's definitely in play. And then we saw Gary Harris off his minutes limit. He played 27 minutes tonight. I actually think he's a solid value play on this slate. Only if Suggs is out, though. This is only if Suggs is out. So Terrence Ross, I think that's chasing if you go there. But Gary Harris, Terrence Ross, they're both fine values. I definitely do prefer Gary Harris, assuming Jalen Suggs is out. So not much on Orlando. I think it's Wandakar Jr. for me, and Gary Harris, really, that I'm looking to on Orlando. Let's move over to Boston. Tough matchup here against Dallas. They're last in pace, and they're pretty good defensively, 18th in defensive rating. So I think Tatum's a lot easier to get to than the other spend-ups because we don't have a lot of value right now. Assuming the game stays close, he's probably going to play close to 40 minutes. Guy that can stuff the stat sheet, very good defender, can do everything. We also don't have Dorian Finney-Smith on the other side, so the defensive matchup for Jason Tatum just gets a lot easier. I don't know who they're going to put on him, but Dorian Finney-Smith is definitely their best defender, so it's just going to be easier for him. So, yeah, I like Tatum as a spend-up. Brown is too close in price for me to Tatum. I'd much, much rather go to Tatum. And then, like I mentioned, we don't have a lot of value on this slate, so I think Marcus Smart makes for a pretty good play in the mid-range. He'll play like 35-ish minutes, their main facilitator, main ball handler. He looks good. Al Horford, I don't even know what that game was. We do have Robert Williams back, so that hurts him. Just a fine play in the mid range. Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White. Derek White's the safer play. Malcolm Brogdon more of the ceiling play. I think they're both fine values. And then I like Robert Williams for value at 4.1K. I think we get 20 or so minutes from him. I think it's a good matchup with whoever he goes against, whether it's Christian Wood, Dwight Powell, whatever they do. I think he's a pretty good value for this slate. So I do like Robert Williams quite a bit. Grant Williams is more out there for his defense. I don't think I can go there, but another like playable value. Let's move on to Dallas. So tough spot here. The Boston Celtics are 15th in pace, and have they dropped? No, 8th in defensive rating. So if you can find the value to fit Luka in, by all means do it. I don't have to tell you Luka's a good play. He's matchup proof, so we're not going to take a lot of time there. Christian Wood with Robert Williams back definitely gets a tougher matchup with some time he spends on the court, but he's going to play upwards of 30 minutes. Been extremely, extremely consistent of late, which you would love to see. So I think he's fine. Dinwiddie, no thank you. Tim Hardaway Jr., no thank you. We know Dorian Finney-Smith. Reggie Bullock's probably going to have to play a ton of minutes. I think he's fine at 3.5K. Don't hate it. And then I'm not going to go to anyone else. So really for me, it's Luka Wood, Reggie Bullock on Dallas. This game looks like the game to target, in my opinion. This game looks great. Screw these defensive rankings and stuff like that. They're overrated, but phenomenal matchup here for Houston. I mean, marking it at 9K, this feels like such a high price tag, but raw points are really going to matter on this slate, and it's a phenomenal spot against Houston. Like, both teams do not play defense. Both teams play pretty fast, so I wouldn't hate you for going to market, and I think it's completely fine. I think I prefer Jordan Clarkson at 7.3K, who will be, he'll just shoot the ball a ton, and guards against Houston have been very, 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 very good. So like Clarkson quite a bit in the mid range, and I don't even hate Mike Conley at 5.7K. Once again, I'll mention the guards against Houston. Once again, I'll mention he's stuffing the stat sheet. Definitely does have double upside with the assists. I don't hate paying 5.7K for Conley. I mean, this is like peak price. Like, Conley is like, man, like you're paying a premium for him. But once again, we don't have value, so I think he's solid. Olynyk, Vanderbilt, these two guys, they cause incredible amounts of pain. These two guys, they're always in freaking foul trouble. But when they stay out of foul trouble, the ceiling is definitely there. And this is a spot where they could absolutely nuke. So I'm very intrigued by Olynyk and Vanderbilt for GPPs. Walker Kessler should play, 20, 25 minutes more if those two guys get into foul trouble. I think he's an interesting contrarian play off a popular Olynyk or Vanderbilt. I feel like both of these guys are going to get some ownership tomorrow. We don't have Sexton still, so I think Malik Beasley at 5K makes for a pretty good play. I expect, similar minutes from him. Guy that can, shoot the ball a million times, kind of like a black hole, but does have a low floor, but like Malik Beasley. And then I don't think I'm going to go to anyone else. I think going to anyone else is probably too cute, in my opinion. So, but yeah, some stuff to like on Utah. I like Clarkson. I think Conley's fine. I think the bigs are fine. I think Malik Beasley looks good. So, yeah, some things to like on Utah for me. Good matchup here for Houston. I think Kevin Porter Jr., I mean, these Houston guards have just been god awful of late. Kevin Porter Jr., I will say his minutes have been, on the uptick of late, which definitely helps. I think they're both good options. Once again, no value, so you're going to look to more of a mid-range build in my opinion, so I think both look good to me. I think I definitely do prefer these savings on Jalen Green. We'll see what ownership is. I'll just go to the lower owned guy, and I really like Sengun tomorrow. Phenomenal spot against Utah. I think if he stays out of foul trouble, he'll play close to 30 minutes. I love the spot here. He's the cover boy for a reason. I love Sengun tomorrow. Jabari Smith Jr., he should play close to 30 minutes. Has double upside, a guy that can do it all. Like him for value. Eric Gordon, it's a back-to-back, so I don't expect him to play, making KJ Martin at 3.5K good value play, assuming Eric Gordon is out. So Let's move on to the last game of the night. We'll talk about Denver first. So tough spot. It's just Jokic at the top for me. I think Murray's okay. I think Gordon's okay. I think MPJ is okay, but I think KCP is an okay value. But I think it's just Jokic really for me at the top that I'm going to be targeting. I don't think the Clippers have been good against bigs either. So like Jokic, everyone else is just contrarian plays for me. Let's move on to the Clippers. So big news here to watch is Paul George is questionable. We'll go over both ways. If he's in, um, not much. I probably wouldn't get the Pal at that price. Paul George and Kawhi would just be fine options. Zubac against Jokic definitely does scare me, but his minutes have been on an uptick of late. I think he'd be an interesting value play. Morris, Reggie, Wall, probably don't like Morris. He'll play like close to 30 minutes, but my God, has he been awful. Reggie, they're all just fine. They're just there for me. Like John Wall play the least, but he is definitely the best point per minute guy between them. So not much. So let's go over to Paul George is out. Then Kawhi is going to become one of the best mid-range plays on the slate at 8.1K. Norman Powell would get a boost. He would be in play at 5.2K. Zubac doesn't really affect. Marcus Morris gets a boost. He would be in a solid value. Reggie Jackson gets a boost. He would be a solid value. John Wall gets a boost. He would be an okay option. And then maybe we get Terrence Mann starting. He would be an okay value play. So that news is definitely massive, and then you're going to have Kennard in play off the bench at 3.3K if Paul George is out. So that is definitely the key to the slate, monitoring that Paul George news. It's going to change absolutely everything. So I hope this helped, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.